Yeah, all right. Good deal. We'll set this here, see what happens. Oh. So the blue light means that it's recording. So at this point, everything becomes public record. It could be...
I should be wearing glasses. I can't see anything. It's a blue light.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. You know, and I didn't ask you this beforehand, so you'll get a chance to introduce yourself. But my name is Joel. I am co-owner, CEO of Four Saints Brewing Company. Not drinking beer at the moment.
Thank you, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome. For drinking your drink? Beer. Oh, for not drinking beer. I am with, you're actually watching After Two Beers, and it hasn't been two beers this particular time. It's been after two mint juleps because it's Kentucky Derby season. It's around this time.
Yeah,
Month. Okay.
Last week. Yep.
And we're going to sit down tonight and we're going to talk with Todd Dulaney and give Todd a chance to introduce himself because I forgot to ask him what his exact title is that he does with Our State Magazine. So go for it.
I am an editor at Our State Magazine. I've got a title, but we all do a lot. And, got a great crew of editors that I work with, so I am an editor.
An editor.
And Una's dad, which is how most people in Asheboro know me.
Yes, it's a familiar stage of recognition to be somebody's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After 6 years, it's...
Because I'm Estella's dad.
Right.
Right, and it's just like, oh, you're... Yeah. Well, Todd is, we've got to know each other partly because of our daughters. Got to know each other because going to the same school, being in kindergarten. Todd and his wife, Megan, they come to Taco Tuesdays every now and again. Well, I wasn't going to indemnify you on anything, so it's your thing. We've been sitting for about an hour and a half now, just talking a little bit about everything. And that's, if you've watched an After Two Beers, that's kind of what this is. We just sit and talk and about a little bit of everything. But I do want to start with the mint whiskey, mint bourbon.
Well, it's a Maker's Mark. You're familiar with, it usually has the red.
This is not a commercial. We're not getting paid for this. I just said I've never experienced this before.
If Maker's Mark sends me a case of their whiskey, it's not because I'm endorsing them, but I am endorsing them. They have the regular Maker's Mark with the red wax, which if you're ever at their distillery, you can actually dip their bottles.
Really?
Mm-hmm. We've got some that we've dipped.
Do you get to mark it after you dip it, or is it just?
Yeah, you can sign it. You can. When we were there, you could dip anything. There's a lot of people dipping their hats. This is kind of PG rated so far, so I'll just leave it there. But every year for the Derby, they make a mint version of their whiskey.
I did not know that.
And they dip it with the green wax. It's been hard to find this year. This is actually from last year.
Wow.
We stock up when we find it. ABC stores kind of know me. They pull it in from other ABC stores.
Yeah.
So when I buy the last one, all of a sudden the next day there's like a half dozen.
Just for you.
I won't say that, but
maybe kind of. I mean, it's good. I have never experienced mint whiskey before, and it's enjoyable.
It's dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like candy.
It is a little bit.
90 proof candy.
And you get this fresh, minty feel, not like you're smoking a Newport cigarette, which is...
No.
Just get rid of the leaves. You did it earlier. There's a little bit of a dunk.
We'll dunk in there.
A little dunk in there. So, the Kentucky Derby is one of your favorite experiences.
Has been.
How and unfortunately you were planning to go this year. Is that correct?
Yeah, I had. We always get tickets right around Christmas time. We've had the room booked for since last Derby.
Is it a Christmas present to yourself?
Yeah, and that's when the savings ends because they have a discount on the tickets
right.
up until the end of the year, and then it's not cheap to buy a ticket to the Derby.
Yeah,
but we buy cheap tickets.
Right.
We're in the infield. We are with the unbathed masses, and it's the only way I've ever experienced it. Been to about 25.
Is there
when I was 18?
25 of them?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think we talked about that earlier. I think it came up in conversation with Kristen and Megan, but I obviously was not paying attention.
Well,
25 of them.
Yeah, I've missed a few. There was some illness. The only one I think I've missed this century was for foot and mouth disease, which was a whole other nasty story.
Right, yeah. Maybe we'll get into that. We'll just lock that one away.
We'll lock that one away. But it started when I was 18, and I lived in Ohio, so it was about a 2-hour drive for me.
Is that why you went? Like, because you were 18 and it was just this thing to do, or did you have an interest in racing?
Zero.
Zero. You don't go to the Derby for the race.
It took me...
Infidel.
It took me about 15 races before we actually saw a horse. We never saw. You don't see horses at the Kentucky Derby,
right?
You see it on the big screen.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
But somebody I worked with back in whatever year that was, 20, 30 years ago, said, "Hey, my buddy have a hotel room. You want to come with us?" I said, "Of course I do." So we went down and we did what you do at the Derby, and it was infectious. I got everyone that I could to come back. It's always fun to take somebody for the first time.
That makes sense.
It may not be fun to go for the first time, but it is a blast to take someone for their first time.
Right. That it kind of. I was one of those first timers at a Jimmy Buffett concert, and when everybody found out it was my first time, it was almost like being treated like royalty because it was like, oh, it's your first time.
Yeah.
It ended interestingly.
Well,
hi there. Estella is right over here right now. She's
crashing.
I don't know. She's done it before. Come here.
If only we all had 6-year-olds to give us
right.
Una. No, Una.
All right.
Sweet pea.
Alrighty. Oh, so, both of them. This is like what we did. Oh, okay. All right.
No.
All right.
Una. Darling.
Without you.
Oh, okay.
All right.
You go.
We will see you later.
All right.
I'm hoping that what happened is she hugged the camera, and now we're cut off at the neck, which is
actually not too bad.
not too
there
bad.
You go.
Which wouldn't be entirely
No. So, what you didn't get to see, you get to see the two cute 6-year-old girls and their coronavirus.
No, they don't have coronavirus.
No, they don't have coronavirus, right? No, but they're like, woo! Like, we didn't see was Kristen and Megan off to the side here going, like making faces and making promises and then threats and then promises again.
It's like the stages of grief, really. You are going to regret this. There is a reward for you.
Right.
You are going to be so angry about this. So yeah, it's 30 seconds of grief. But yeah, started going to the Derby.
So yeah, just
went for a long time. Have a lot of vague memories.
Vague memories. That's a good one.
But yeah, there's always For the record, it wasn't my idea to host this.
Well, Well, I mean, I think it would have been the same at when.
And actually, if you would excuse me, I'll go ahead.
Go ahead. Do
This
your
is
thing.
the final member of the family here.
Let's bring in. Hey there, Seamus.
Okay, lay down, buddy. There. No. We'll just have the whole.
Let's just do it.
here.
There's,
Lay
you
down.
know, this is
Lay
the
down.
real. This is real life. This is what we're doing. This is how we
So
experience
this
things.
is a conversation.
Yes.
How are you, buddy?
This is what it's like. This is, and for some, in some cases, what it's like for two adult men to just sit down and have a conversation, unless it's like hidden away, right, in a cave, like away from everything.
Which was an option.
Did you have a cave? I didn't have a cave.
Out the cave.
You have a? Well, why didn't we take the cave?
Well, I think
I didn't. The cave was not like it was not offered. Like if I had heard
the lighting in the cave is it's harsh, but it's nice.
Ooh,
It's
it
an
may
office.
it may have changed the conversation.
Oh,
We may have talked about like foraging.
actually, the cave is interesting because I share it with my wife, and we half of the cave is painted in Chicago Bears colors,
Right.
which is her team.
Yes.
And the other half of the cave is in Carolina Panther colors,
Which is yours.
which is my team.
Right. I noticed that you mentioned earlier today, or today or yesterday when they announced the schedule for the NFL.
Yep.
That the Chicago Bears and the Chicago Bears are coming to Carolina
In October, yeah.
in October, and I wasn't sure which team was yours. I guess we've never really talked like football, like kind
Well,
of deep into
yeah.
it.
Well, and the story behind that, there's a story behind everything for me.
Of course.
I was raised a Cleveland Browns fan.
Really?
Yes, diehard Cleveland Browns. I mean,
That's right. You're from Ohio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
My family went. They saw them when they were the Brownies, and
Ooh.
we had programs back to the 50s. But when he who should not be, yes, he's here.
He's right there.
Uh,
That guy.
Yeah, that guy.
That
He's
guy.
working somewhere. When he took the team to Baltimore, I was adrift. I mean, I didn't know what to do. And as it happened, the Carolina Panthers were just established. It was their first season.
That was like 95?
Yes. So it
Yeah.
was, I mean,
Yeah.
so I had no choice. I wanted to have a clean start, a clean slate. I didn't want to adopt a team that already had a history.
Ah.
So there's no history. I have Frank Reich's jersey, who was their first quarterback.
Yeah.
He was in the expansion draft.
Yep.
Picked him up from Buffalo. So I have his jersey from the very beginning.
Wow.
So always been, well, I mean, as long as Carolina's been
As long as
around,
Carolina's been around.
I've been a fan.
And you've not at any point you've not wavered to go back to be a Browns fan.
They don't exist anymore.
So who plays in Cleveland then?
It's interesting because Cleveland plays in Baltimore.
Okay.
Because the players went. And
Right.
so, I mean, the whole team went there. And then they created this new team in Cleveland called the Browns that they tried to have. I don't know. It's fake. I don't know. It's a facade. I will root against the Denver Broncos every day of the week.
Why? I don't what that I don't see any connection between Carolina and the Brownies.
Well,
I'm help me out here. I'm sorry.
well, there's the
Help my
drive.
history.
The
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yep. I should know my history
well, it's
better.
in Elway.
The drive, yes.
Elway
Yeah.
broke my heart so many times. I just
We had a big chin. I mean, he could do.
no. When he had the horse teeth, he still has the horse teeth for that matter.
The drive, yes. I guess I'm one of those. I remember the thing, but I don't remember who it was against. So, like, I don't. I mean, things like the Music City Miracle. I don't remember the team who it was against. It was the Tennessee Titans,
yeah.
but I don't remember who it was against.
Who was it against?
I don't.
See, it's going to be fact checked. That's why I need a fact checker in my life, real time,
Right.
every day.
Was that the Bills?
You see, I'm thinking the Bills, yeah.
I don't know, but that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's ringing true. And then the only other one, the Immaculate Reception was being the Steelers fan. That was against the Raiders, right? So, but what other NFL like things are there? You got the Drive, you got the Immaculate Reception, you got the Music City Miracle. Are there any other ones
in the NFL?
Yeah, there's got to be, but I can't remember any other ones right now other than those three. I'm putting them both on the spot.
My wife's a sports editor, or was, she was.
Yep. Well.
Oh boy, I'm in trouble.
Again.
The Bears Shuffle, I guess, Super Bowl Shuffle, but that really wasn't.
That wasn't a play.
What about the fridge going in and not Walter Payton for the touchdown? Did that have a name?
I don't think it had a name. There was the catch. The catch at San Francisco.
Dwight Clark from
yep.
Joe Montana.
Yep, the catch. Yep, yeah. There was that one.
And that took them to the Super Bowl against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yep. I can't think of any other ones. Now, right now, we're going to find out. Because there's got to be at least five more. That's my over-under. 5.
Yeah, oh yeah. But they're plays. They got to be plays.
Right. Yeah, the significant plays that have a nickname that you can name to somebody and be like, no, don't pick it up. No, don't do it.
I'm not going to do it.
But I know exactly what you were thinking. I mean, Todd's phone is sitting right here where we're pointing. And it's funny to think about it because the idea that these kind of conversations, we have that inkling to just we talk about it for 2-3 minutes, and then somebody jumps on their supercomputer in their pocket and finds that answer. And the thing that I find intriguing is that, I mean, 1800s, 1900s, whatever, early 1900s. Seamus is finding the tripod really interesting right now. But that's how the Guinness Book of World Records started. Mm-hmm. Right? Is two guys sitting in a pub arguing about the fastest bird, and they went out to find out what the fastest bird was, and I don't remember which one it was. You go to the Guinness, if you go to the brewery at James Gate, there's a whole story. But that's where that book came from, because it came from a pub conversation at a time where there was no way to immediately go, you're wrong. This thing says you're wrong.
And you've been to that museum?
Yes. St. James Gate, yeah.
The big one with the multi-stories?
Yeah.
And with it used to be the cellar. Yeah.
What now?
Yeah. I was there in 90.
Okay.
And they hadn't built that,
Oh, so they didn't have the sky bar and everything.
Right. So it was, you would do like an abbreviated tour, and you would end up in kind of the cellar bar with your beer ticket.
I think I would have liked that better.
It was crazy. I like the sky bar though. That's pretty cool.
It's pretty. I like this. I like the idea of the cellar though. I like that. I like the dankness.
Yeah, it was really cozy. It was so cozy.
So you were in Dublin in 90. Yes.
Yeah, first time. 90.
How many times have you been there?
3.
Four. So when was the last one?
When we were married. 11/11/11.
11/11/11.
We exchanged vows on the Cliffs of Moher.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's easy to remember an anniversary, too.
See Megan?
Yeah. Haven't missed one yet.
I was in Dublin in oh 03? 02, it was 03. Because it was right before and forget my vernacular, but and the phrasing, but the invasion of Iraq. Because that was the whole build-up. I think that was 2003. It was like the whole build-up was happening while I was in Dublin. And then when I got back, like it was like 2 or 3 weeks later that it actually happened. Because there was I went with a couple other students, and they were worried that we were going to actually be able to get back. They thought things were going to go crazy. But so 2000, eight years after that. So you got to see the Millennium Spire. Is that still?
Oh, we did, yeah.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I mean, Dublin had changed so much.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
We had, the time before that, I had gone right after 9/11.
Okay.
Right before Christmas, right after 9/11. They couldn't fill planes, so we bought $99 round-trip tickets to Ireland. And me and my brother and another friend of ours went for the weekend, and we didn't sleep. It was crazy. And I did a story about it because it was a vacation to Ireland for $200.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was.
That's amazing. For
Something.
I mean, the reasons it was not great, but it was still the ability to do that. Because I remember when I was over there, I mean, because we were, I remember sitting in the teachers' lounge in Dublin because I was student teaching at a Catholic school, which was fun because at some point one of the boys, it was all boys Catholic school, with all the teachers were civilians, I guess is the best way to say it. So I was teaching 5th form, and one of the boys raised his hand and was like, and I'm not going to try and do an Irish accent right now, but he was like, Mr. McCloskey, so are you Catholic? And I went, huh? And Sean, who's the teacher I was partnered with, he just kind of looked at me because we had this conversation, and he just looked at me, and because I'd asked him, I was like, if somebody asked me, what do I do? Because they did mass every single day, every single day. It was part of the day. They went in, they did mass, they did all the rituals, and I didn't participate in any of them. I was like, what do I do? And he's like, just sit there, you'll be fine. And one of the boys asked, he was like, so are you Catholic? And I said, no, I'm not. And he said, what are you? And I said, well, I guess you'd consider me Protestant. And there was just this kind of this wave over the classroom. And the kid that asked sat down, and another kid just went, I won't tell me parents.
Yeah.
So, and, but yeah, being Ireland is it's a fantastic place to visit. I can't imagine how much. I've been there. It's been a long time since I've been there, but
the first time I went in '90, I was a 4-H chaperone.
Okay.
And we did this cultural exchange to Northern Ireland with Catholic and Protestant kids who came to the States, and then we took a group of kids there, and we stayed in Northern Ireland. We toured a Garda outpost, and it was still, very divided in '90. And I mean, the background they did on me just to make sure that I didn't have any, other reasons to go. But we still keep in touch with friends in Northern Ireland from that.
Yeah,
it was a great experience. We go back up there every time we go over.
Yeah, I've never. I didn't make it up to Northern Ireland. We went to. I spent a lot of time in city center Dublin, just the city of Dublin, and it's kind of immediate suburbs.
it's crazy driving in Dublin.
I never drove in Dublin.
They don't believe in road signs. I mean, they'll put them up on buildings, and then having any kind of navigation, it's like, yeah, good luck. They just give up.
But it's a big deal to get a driver's license in Dublin. I mean, because there was a teacher that I worked with. His name was John. He was the PE teacher, and he was the same age as me and was nervous as nervous as a 16-year-old getting a driver's license at 30. Yeah, I'll say 30, because he was like, I've tried 3 times. I was like, what?
Oh,
like
crazy.
I did my driver's license twice. Like the first time I was an idiot. The second time I was like, I'm not going to pass this. And they just are like, here you go. Just go ahead and start driving.
Well, we rented cars when we got
did.
married.
Yeah.
And it was a stick shift. And, you're on the other side.
On the other side, right.
And then, you can't see signs. And it's a huge city. I hit a bridge. It's crazy. But and
you don't say you hit a bridge and just leave that be.
But the in the cars over there, the bottom half are plastic.
I didn't know
Because
that.
they have, I think like the ridgeline or something here is like that way, where the bottom is plastic.
Okay.
Because the roads are so narrow, you're bound to hit something.
Oh.
So we were doing an approach to a really narrow bridge, and somebody's coming off, and I'm coming on, and you hit it enough where it just boom moves your car over. And I was like, oh man, I just totaled this rental car. I'm in another country. I'm not going to get home. And we got out, and it's like, yeah, we bounced. The cars in Ireland bounce. It's great.
That's no. I never. It's good to know. So now everybody knows that the cars in Ireland bounce.
Yeah. You hit things, and they.
No, I would not even try driving. Like it was the whole sitting on the other side.
And the hedges that are,
No.
10 feet tall, and you're 3 inches away.
No. I walked everywhere and took the DART, the above ground train. Like that was the only way I got anywhere. We went to Galway. No, I didn't go to Galway. I'm sorry. I didn't go to Galway. I did not go to Galway. I went to Cork for it was a school rugby trip. So it was like the school's rugby team was going down. They went down to Cork to play. That was as far away as I got from Dublin. I had dreams of going up to Northern Ireland just to see it and to say it, and I was talked out of it very quickly. They were like, "Don't do it." Yeah, well,
it's not that far from Dublin either.
No, it's not. But they were just like, it's just. Maybe it was the people that I was hanging around with. They were like, it's just kind of strange up there.
It is. Giant's Causeway. And, we always go up to Newcastle. The Newcastle in Northern Ireland.
Right.
And it's right on the water. It's just a great mountain. Slieve Donard is right there.
Yeah, Dublin. We went. Yeah, we went down to Cork to the because it was a school versus school rugby match kind of thing, and so all the teachers went with all the kids, and then John, who mentioned earlier, the PE guy, he went down too, and we got down there on the train, and like the game started, or the matches started, and the other teachers were like, all right, let's go. I was like, don't we need to stay here and like watch this? And they're like, no, let's go. And so I was like, but those are the students, they're kids, like they're like, yeah, let's go, come on, we're gonna go get some breakfast. And so like we left and like went a mile away, and hoofed it, and went a mile away and got some breakfast. Good Irish breakfast. Just straight old country Irish breakfast. Tomatoes, breakfast sausage, blood pudding, like all of it. Like just this big old plate. Like you just walked in and went, breakfast. And they were like, there you go. There was no choices. It was just, this is what you get for breakfast, and then we have lunch, and then we have dinner. And so we ate breakfast, and we got back, and when we got back, they were like, oh, all the matches are over. We're like, great. We went into the pub. And so there was like all the kids from all the schools went into the pub.
In what grade?
This was fifth, sixth form, so fifth,
Okay.
sixth grade. And so they all went to the pub, and we went to the pub, and they had sandwiches and
Like a
crisps.
carvery.
What's that?
Was it a carvery?
No, it was a pub. Like it was a pub. And I think. I mean, I don't know. What is a carvery? No, I'll ask that question.
Well, it's like a pub where they have meat that you carve. It's like a buffet. It's like
No, it wasn't a buffet. No. The kids walked in and they had sandwiches already made for them, and because in Ireland, like a lot of sports like in Europe, you've got the pro, and then you have the regional teams, and you have the local teams, and then you have So this was like a local pub that supported a local rugby team that had a pitch right outside of it. So we walked in, and all the kids walked in, and they got their sandwiches, and they got their crisps, and they got their sodas, and they all sat down to eat. And all the teachers, all the adults, I should say, all sat down, and they came over and they said, they gave us our food, and they said, "What do you want to drink?" And I didn't know what to do, and so we're sitting in a pub, and all the adults went around and were like, "I have a Guinness, I have a Carlsberg, I have a this, I have that."
Yep.
And I was like, "Oh, they're all asking for alcohol." And they got to me, and I was like, "I'll have a Coke." They went, and Tom was like, "Coke? Like, get a Coke, get what you usually drink." And I was like, "But all the kids are right over there," and they're like, "It's fine." So I got a Guinness, and this is the only time I've ever had a 10-year-old challenge me to chug a beer, because a 10-year-old kid goes, "You Americans love to chug. I want to see a chug." Like, I'm not chugging a beer in front of you right now, and I was encouraged to, so I did. And then at the time I was a smoker, and I stood up to go and have a cigarette, and they're like, "Don't you dare do that in front of our children." I was like, "I just chugged a beer in front of a group of 10-year-olds. Because you said it was okay," and they're like, "You don't do this." I was like,
Wow. Huh.
I was like, it's kind of funny because it's kind of swapped around in the U.S. It's like, it's fine to smoke around them, but don't you dare, chug a beer in front of them. And it was really, it's just a cultural swap. I don't know if it's still the same or not, but Ireland is an interesting place.
Can't wait to go back.
Yeah.
So is Kentucky.
But
Going back to the Derby.
back to the Derby. Bring it back to the Derby. Let's take back to the Derby. Are you empty?
Yeah, I'm empty. Should we? Because it's only after 2. I don't think it's.
Just why not? Oh boy.
We can edit this out, right?
No, I don't edit anything.
Pause.
Out. I
I can't top it with ice. So.
Yeah, we're good. I think we're gonna deal with this. We're just gonna walk this one out. So, Derby. What is your favorite memory from the Derby? The favorite, like.
You can ask cereal, but
What's that?
I can ask about cereal, but
You've been watching. You're prepared.
I had a bowl of raw rice for you, but I don't.
Oh,
I
raw
think
rice.
Yeah,
Was it minute rice?
it wasn't minute rice. You know how hard it is to find rice in this town?
Really?
It is. I finally found it. The food line on Fayetteville came through today with so many surprises. Sugar, which I haven't. Oh, it's a cat fight.
Oh, catfight. Oh, good. Awesome.
Sugar, rice, which had 0 rice in the past. Garlic.
Garlic's been an issue?
Garlic has been a huge issue.
Really?
I almost had a knife fight with a woman over garlic. It was embarrassing. I don't even want to talk about it.
You shouldn't. I don't think you
shouldn't
should.
talk about that. But they really came through. And their watermelon smelled amazing.
Through the mask?
Oh, no, actually, that's an inside joke for Rich. Pal. Sorry.
I'm glad we both hit on the same joke there.
Yep.
Unintentionally. That's kismet right there.
It was a good shopping trip today, and I'm the only one going out.
Right.
So it's been challenging. Still, paper products are just impossible to find.
Well, yeah. I mean, you make do. That's fine. Pine cones are there.
Stick and a sponge.
Right. That's all you need.
Good enough for the Greeks.
Right. Why not?
The Romans. Somebody fact check me on that.
No way. I think it was the Romans.
Romans?
I think it was the Romans.
What do the Greeks use?
I don't know.
Sheets.
I don't know. Gods.
Oh, the god of... I don't want to go there.
I'm sure there is one. There's got to be one. I mean, there's a god of everything. There's got to be a god of the lavatory.
Dingleberrius? No.
I'm not saying no. I think the name makes sense. But I mean, there's got to be one because they did. They had a god for everything. Everything.
Dukius.
Duke. Oh. If that is the case, there is some unused, wonderful ancient culture for the North Carolina basketball collegiate basketball anti-t-shirt campaign.
No. Why did I?
Yeah. I mean, you took it there, and I know I know where I believe I know where your allegiances lie. Yeah.
Well, my oldest daughter's going to UNC.
Ooh. Do you need a bit?
Nah. No, the UNC system is a fantastic school system.
As he says that because he believes it, not because he has to say it.
No, I truly believe the UNC system is fantastic. So's the Ohio school system.
There you go. Oh, look at that.
Right state.
Hey, that's a good pivot right there.
Yeah,
take it away.
That was a big thing.
So you're a Duke fan.
Yes, I'm a Duke fan.
So
do you want to know why?
Yes, I do. Like, how did yes? If that was so obvious, I mean, to come from Ohio to become a Duke fan and not be a Buckeye fan.
Well, I was not a basketball fan.
Okay.
Did not care about college basketball at all. I mean, University of Dayton was my, home team, but yeah, they're okay.
It's Dayton.
Right. So when I was about 1988, I actually watched the tournament, and UNLV just embarrassed Duke.
Is that when LJ played for them?
Yeah.
Larry Johnson?
That's another story about me being a Charlotte Hornets fan with Grandmama playing. That killed me. Because I was a Hornets fan from the beginning, too, day one, because I didn't have another NBA team. Anyway, so they embarrassed them. And I always thought of Duke as the underdog.
Really?
It's Turkanian and and what's his name's dad played for him.
I don't know what's
the kid at UNC now. Anyway,
I don't know that.
So the kid at UNC who's playing now, his dad played for UNLV, and he had a broken jaw and still talked shit about Duke and beating them.
Really?
Yeah, it was nasty. So it's like, the next year's like, man, just beat him, just beat him, and Duke did, and I was like, okay, it was their first national championship, and from then on, I was a Duke fan.
That was it.
Yep, that was it.
Huh.
In Ohio. And then, one of the reasons we came down here was because Megan got to cover Duke basketball. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to be popular. I'm going to, this is the point when it goes live where I'm going to go to, the restroom. I'll pour a drink. I'll have my...
Somebody's going to call you a name. Because there's Dookies? Go ahead. What are they? if you name the pain, it can't hurt you anymore, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Is that the main one?
Uh,
Which one gets to you? Like, which one do you like when you hear it? You're like,
it's all good natured. I mean, I know it's
okay.
dislike, but I mean, it's not, hate. I hope not. I mean, if
For some it might be.
yeah,
I mean, for some it might be.
but I mean, I grew up an Ohio State Buckeyes football fan,
Right.
and
Still a Buckeyes fan?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And the game against Michigan is always, the big one,
Right.
and it would be a rivalry if
they were good.
I mean, if they only won once out of every 10 years,
Right.
but
As a Steelers fan, that's how we felt about Cleveland. I mean,
yeah.
Kristen's because Kristen's a diehard Cleveland fan, and she, she has hate for the he won't be named in the NFL, same as you. But she's all about Cleveland. Like she's. I think I would love to see you two talk about that on camera at some point, which will make happen. But I tell her, I want to see Cleveland do well. I do. I want to see them do well because for two reasons. One, I want to see those games matter and do well, and be a thing that you look forward to and go, this could go either way.
Right.
And I remember, and wow, these stories are intertwining, in an insane way. Because I remember one of the last times I watched I was interested in a Cleveland Steelers game was when I was over in Dublin, and it was a playoff game, and it was the Browns and the Steelers were matched up, and the Steelers ended up winning.
Wow, man.
Okay? And so, but I remember that being, and that year it was the Raiders and Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Super Bowl, because I remember I went to a place to watch it because it's live here, but in Ireland it was 4 a.m.
Right.
And I remember being at a place maybe less than sober than I should have been, but I tell her I want to see that. I want to see the games matter, but two, Cleveland fans that have stuck with Cleveland they're just long suffering, kind of like the Boston Red Sox fans. These long suffering, this is our team, and there's all this hope, and then it's taken from them, and then
they have a tendency to step on their own football, we'll say. They drafted their quarterback selections the past few. Baker Mayfield.
I don't know. I don't know.
He planted the flag at the 50-yard line of the shoe. He should not be allowed in Ohio, let alone playing for a team in Ohio. But I digress.
That's an Ohio boy talking. But he's got some possibility. He's got some spark.
Yeah.
He's lighting that team up.
And when they trade him, they will have it past tense. He had some possibility.
But he's the brightest spot that they've had in the past 15 years.
And Odell Beckham.
Who?
Was it Beckham? Didn't they have Odell Beckham?
Yes.
Yeah. They
brightest spot at quarterback.
Yes.
In the past 15 years. I mean, when you look at Jeff Garcia to be your saving grace, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Or Brady Quinn.
Hey now, let's leave Brady out of this.
Why? Or Ken Dorsey.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're Notre Dame fans too, so I mean, give Brady a line.
I don't know. the Browns always go after these guys that's got like 1 year.
Well,
They have it's a tendency.
Yeah,
like
they won't trade for anyone who has.
Talking about being able to make a bet, like, oh, the Browns. Here's this quarterback he's got 365.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bet on it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And 366 comes along, and they're like, I like potato chips a lot.
But to be the third worst team in Ohio is just
The third worst.
well, Ohio State, then maybe Cincinnati.
Cincinnati's terrible.
I know they're competing there.
Cincinnati's awful.
And Ohio State really is the best professional team in the state.
I give you that.
Wright State has never lost a game
Because
they don't have a team.
they don't have a team. Well, what about the Akron Fighting Penguins?
They're the Zips.
Oh no, you're right. Who's the Fighting Penguins? Who's the Fighting Penguins? There's a Fighting Penguins team in Ohio. You're right. Akron's the Zips. Is it Dayton? No. Who's the Fighting Penguins?
Dayton Flyers. The Fighting Penguins?
Yeah. There was an Ohio team that's called the Fighting Penguins.
Come here, buddy.
That I know. That is a fact.
Fact check.
The Fighting Penguins.
I'm not going to dispute you.
I know how ridiculous that sounds, but there is an Ohio team that the Fighting Penguins is their thing.
If I could time travel,
Oh, here you go.
and I'm not saying
I was supposed to bring up
That I
time travel
can't.
earlier, and apparently I didn't. So
I would
time
find
travel,
out,
go for it.
I'd tell you.
Tell me what? Who the Fighting Penguins were? Well, we could, like, if you looked on your phone.
Nope, not going to do it. Why would penguins
No,
fight
it's right.
anyway?
Akron Zips. No, you're right. Yeah. I'm not going to, yeah. Who is it? Youngstown State. Youngstown State.
They're in the Ho League.
Yeah.
They play Wright State.
Yeah, Youngstown. Youngstown is the Fighting Penguins. I'm going to put that. If I'm wrong, I'll give you $5. Youngstown State.
Okay.
I'm going to count that right now. Yes.
We're there.
We're there.
And if you're right, you don't have to give me $5.
I'm going to. It's on video.
It's on video.
It's going to happen. It is. It's yeah. Anyway. So, since you were prepared for it, it's complete. Let's go for the cereal question.
Sit, buddy. I am not a serial killer. Sit.
All right.
I know.
He's arguing with you. He doesn't like it. So, favorite cereal as a kid? What was it?
You won't believe it. You won't believe it.
Was it Grape Nuts? Was it Grape Nuts?
It was Grape Nuts.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No.
No, it was. That's amazing.
There you go. Grape Nuts.
Okay, next question. Well, that was easy.
Oh,
I didn't say you wouldn't guess. That's a pretty good guess.
thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Huh.
I know my cereals.
You know what kids would not like?
Yeah. So what made I always wanted Grape Nuts. I always wanted Grape
See?
Nuts.
It's
See,
forbidden fruit.
right. Yeah. Yes,
The grape nut.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes. I always wanted. I saw the commercials like Grape Nuts,
Yep.
and my parents were like, "You will not like it. We're not buying it." Because always, and as a kid, it was top shelf. Like it was as high as you could get.
Yeah.
So, and it was a small box
Oh, yeah.
because they were teeny
They
tiny.
lasted forever. The first time you ate grape nuts, you filled it up like it was like Rice Krispies.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, man. Oh, this is going to be so good. And you get like, not even like a third of the way through. It's like, what is this? This is, it just keeps getting larger and larger.
Yep. Right.
Oh, it was just.
It goes from being this super dense concrete to being
in denser concrete, but with the proper level of sugar.
Of course.
I mean, it was just this crunchy, sugary, milky, just fantasticness.
And that was How often did you get grape nuts?
Oh, not often. I mean, it was because it was. But see, I did the grocery shopping as a kid, so I could buy whatever I wanted.
You did the grocery shop. All right, so explain that. See, you were like you made the list and you went and did it? Or
No, my mom made the list. I grocery shopped with my father as like a little kid, and then he passed away when I was 5.
Okay.
And my mom had medical issues and she couldn't get into grocery stores, so I grocery shopped like when I was like 7 years old.
Wow.
She'd give me a detailed list.
Yeah.
I would go through and I'd get everything on the list. I mean, I would pile the cart. I still remember the first time I topped $100 with this huge cart.
Yeah.
And a carton of cigarettes.
Jeez.
They sold the carton of cigarettes to it.
Yeah, they were like right there. Like There, you get your gum, you get your Snickers, and a carton of cigarettes.
That was it.
I remember that.
But so I could get any cereal I wanted. When I was like really little, I did like 4 or 5. I would do like all the chocolates, the Cocoa Krispies, the Cocoa Puffs.
Of course.
The Monster cereals were horrendous because of those nasty ass marshmallows.
You didn't like the marshmallows. So you don't like Lucky Charms. You don't like the marshmallows.
What are those things?
I think. I mean, to me, they're manna. I mean, it's like
But
like straight
it's
from
like
heaven.
Chalk. It's like fingers on a chalkboard eating those things. It's torture.
To each their own.
Yeah.
But you're wrong. But so great. So you did the. So what was it? So grape nuts? Obviously, lay a layer of sugar on any cereal, and you've got greatness. So what was it about grape nuts that just made you go?
They never got soggy, for one.
Right, that's true.
And you could put a tablespoon of grape nuts in a bowl, and it would last for half an hour. I mean, you would eat this. Yeah, and it really tasted good. I mean,
it's probably one of the greatest misnomers of like the past 3 generations.
Because there's no grapes and there's no nuts.
No,
I mean,
but why are they called grape nuts? I genuinely don't know, like why, like where grape nuts come from. Because, I mean, there's nothing at all that is grapey or nutty about any of it.
And we pause while we fact check.
Yeah, he's all about it. So hopefully somebody out there is doing it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I've never thought to look that up.
Then I had the grape nut flakes. There are grape nut flakes. I mean, it's like a cereal, but I've never had them.
I didn't know they existed. It just seems like it kind of cheapens the whole experience
grape nuts
of
are
chewing on rocks.
Oh, and the other cereals. I mean, you'd get like the puffed wheat and the puffed rice.
Oh,
and
no.
And it would weigh. You'd get 3 ounces of cereal in this box this big, and then grape nuts comes in this tiny little box. It's like a pound.
Right. Make it big.
Last forever.
I don't think they've changed their logo in 40 years.
No.
Is this just a circle?
Right, but in a little stylizing on the logo, the grape nuts part.
Yeah, grape nuts was that was always a cereal I wanted, and it was like, nope, not doing it.
Yeah.
All right, so grape nuts.
I would sneak that in.
What about now? Now, as an adult, you're like, let me just keep on doing the grape nuts, or as it's